Hello everyone, I have been getting quite a few questions about my upcoming Bhagavad Gītā reading course, and I thought a quick video might be the easiest way to address and hopefully answer all of them. So the course is taught via Yogic Studies. The relevant link is given at the bottom of this video. It begins on May 23rd, 2022. It lasts for 9 weeks. The early bird rate, which at the moment is still available, is $240 for the entire course. And at some point that's going to go up to $300. Each week we will have 2 live classes taught via Zoom, so you can access them wherever you've got internet. If you can't access them live, no worries, they will all be recorded and will be made available to you basically in perpetuity, so as long as the internet exists. And each class, which is 90 minutes, is going to work as follows. I'm going to ask you to prepare a certain bit of the text in advance, and I'm going to give you all the resources that you need for that. And then in class, I'm going to go over that relevant bit of text. So I will look at each verse, I will chant each verse, I will take each verse apart into the various different words, will explain each word, what it does in the text, what it means, and so on. And then I will put everything back together and give you a translation, a possible translation of each verse. And once I'm done with that, for each verse, you will be able to answer, well, maybe you can answer your own questions, but you will be able to ask all your questions. So you might be wondering about the interpretation of a particular compound, or you might not know how a bit of sandhi works, why, what is a dative doing there? I thought this word meant X, why are you translating it as Y, and so on. So basically you can ask any grammatical questions that you've got. And the reason why I'm saying grammatical is for the following reason. The Bhagavad Gītā means many different things to many different people. It's been interpreted in widely differing ways over the course of its existence, of its life. And in this course, I do not want to go more deeply into any of the different philosophical interpretations of it. Rather, what I want to do is to give you a grammatical, literary basis for understanding what the text says, or where there are ambiguities, what the sort of typical sources of possible ambiguities are, so that you can then understand and hopefully also participate in discussions about the meanings of the different verses of the text. We will be reading only excerpts. To read the entire Gita would take a little longer than 9 weeks. We will be reading excerpts from book 1, then most of book 2, and again excerpts from 4, 5, and 6. And even though we will be reading only parts of the text, my hope is that after this course, you will be able to make sense of basically any verse in the Gita with the training that you get through the course and with the resources that I'm going to make available to you. I know that many people are interested in the Gita who have different Sanskrit backgrounds, some have studied Sanskrit for quite a long time, others may have just sort of bare minimum introduction, some may have just taken introduction to Sanskrit, some may have done Sanskrit a long time ago. And so in my experience, the best way of being able to include everyone in such a course is to use this book, Winthrop Sargent's edition of the Bhagavad Gītā. This is what my copy looks like. There's many different covers because the book has been reprinted many times. And basically what Sargent does is he gives you an analysis of every single word in the Gita. And so that means if you haven't done a lot of Sanskrit yet, when I ask you to prepare a text for the following lesson, you can just use Sargent to your heart's content and look at every single word as he analyzes it for you, and then make sense of the text that way. And in class, you can then ask any questions that may be left over. If you've already done a little more Sanskrit, or if you want to challenge yourself, you can then instead just work with just the text, which of course I'm going to give to you. in nice, legible font, big font Devanagari, and transliteration with lots of space for all your notes. And you can then, look at the text, try and undo the sandhi, remember what forms are these, remember what does this word mean, just using your existing Sanskrit knowledge or using the dictionaries, the grammars that I'm going to point you to and that I'm going to basically recommend to you. And I think most people are going to be doing something in between. They will start looking at just the text themselves. They will try and make as much sense of it as they can on their own. And then they're going to use either the resources in Sargent, or what you're also going to get is basically my notes on books 1 and 2 of the Gita. If you've got my textbook, then you have those notes. If you don't have my textbook, I don't want you to have to buy it just for this course. And so you're going to get a PDF of the relevant pages with, as I say, the notes on books 1 and 2. So most people will start looking at the text on their own and will then use the resources that the course and I will be giving you to fill in any gaps that you've got. And any gaps that are left after that, you just ask me. So that's basically the course. Just a quick word about Yogic Studies. So Yogic Studies is entirely online. And online study can be a bit lonely because you're not in a classroom. I'm not in a classroom with you. I can only see your faces on the sort of the Zoom thumbnails. Maybe if you're hesitant about something, I won't be able to see that in your face right away, the way I could if I was in the classroom with you. But in my experience, Yogic Studies has done a really good job connecting people. Everybody in the course will be interested in making good use of it, making good use of our time and money. And so in the past, we've had lots of study groups, basically bringing people together so that you can prepare the text together, can do your, the assignment for the following classes together, can do those philosophical discussions that we will only be doing a little bit of in class. You can do those together. Basically, you can do with this whatever you need, whatever you enjoy. There will also be a course forum, an online forum to which you will have access, where you can discuss questions with your course mates. And also if you've got any sort of understanding questions, I'll be monitoring the forum and I'll be answering your questions there as well. That's basically for any question that you can't ask in class for whatever reason. And there are far too few universities in the world that offer Sanskrit. And so most of us are doing Sanskrit sort of on our own. And I think Yogic Studies has been really lovely at bringing people together who otherwise would be doing Sanskrit on their own. And so I think my aim at least is to make the class not just as accessible and make the text not just as accessible as it can be, but also to make reading, studying, working with it as enjoyable as possible. So if you've got any questions, please just put them in the comments underneath this video. And who knows, maybe I'll see 1 or 2 of you on May 23rd. I would absolutely love that. Take care.